Fallen angels are very mysterious beings in the Bible. They're called the Watchers, but nowhere do we get a description of what they look like. Well, my guest was faced with what he believes to be a fallen angel, and he described in detail what he saw. Whether his assessment is correct or not, the events leading up to and following this encounter have changed his life forever.
I was feeling pretty empty. I just, I kept thinking, okay, if I get back into this, I'll be happy. If I just double down into my job and just be the perfect corporate robot, I'll be happy. If I just really get back into fishing, I'll be happy. If I could just get, 500 likes on Instagram, I'll be happy. All these different avenues of happiness. And I kind of bottomed out. And I was just like, what more is there to life? Kind of got all those goals and was just not happy. And so, I guess every time I kind of bottomed out with a walk of life, I would just pick up some new, spiritual book. And, I was just like, I'm not picking up anything occult or mystical anymore. I have not studied, I've studied most of the religions except for Islam. So I was like, what's the big deal? It's, I always try something and read about something before I make a judgment on it. And so I was just like, let's just go buy a Quran and check it out. And, from the moment I picked up that Quran, it was speaking to me. It was, it was I was kind of getting the same connection with it that I was getting with my Tanakh, Old Testament. And so I thought that was really strange right off the bat. And, right at that same time that I went and picked up that Quran also, it was like someone hit a light switch. Someone hit a light switch and just made my life really dark and tough. We were going through COVID. People at work were, we were struggling with trying to wear masks and work a really hard job. And people were quitting and we were low staffed and people were freaking out. And, everyone was just acting so mean to me. Everyone at work was acting so dark. My family was just acting so dark and distant. And, it was like I was, pushed into a corner. And then, so I just went out and picked up this Quran. And, at the same time, I picked up this Quran, I start feeling this pull to use magic again. I started feeling pulled to use magic. I never threw away all my like magical books or anything like secret. Like I still had like these books from a Masonic lodge, and I still had all this stuff on a shelf just collecting dust, and so at the time I picked up that Quran, I just started feeling a pull to use magic again, and like protect myself from all the evilness I was receiving from those around me. And I wasn't a good guy at the time until I found Jesus, but I still thought I was a good guy. And I prided myself in always going out of my way to make someone feel good, and make someone feel comfortable. And so I was just shocked when I was receiving all this, negative, repercussions, and so, I picked up the Quran, started feeling pulled, to use magic again. The Quran speaking to me. And I think it was the next night or 2 nights later is when I first saw the entity. In Hebrew, in Judaism, we call them shadim. You, call them devils, fallen angels, whatever you want to call them. It was a couple of days after I picked up that Quran that I saw the entity. So I'm pretty tall, and this thing was looking at me dead in the eyes from about 20 feet away. And it was just a staring contest. What I saw was about a 5 to 6 foot tall owl with a big round face, ram's like curly horns, like a shofar, like a ram's horn, big curly horns. So a big horned owl with 4 wings and 3 claws staring at me. And Man, I instinctively knew what I was looking at, you know? I was just like, oh, okay, this is a demon. Even though in my head I had a completely different picture of what a demon was. I thought a demon looked like a featherless eagle. And a bunch of rabbis written in these little kind of secretive Kabbalistic books I had, they had all kind of came to the same conclusion. I was like, oh, that makes sense. A featherless eagle, it makes sense. But what I was looking at was a giant horned owl. And so I started running through all the Hebrew names of God. I was just like, in Elohim's name be gone, in El Shaddai's name be gone. And then the unutterable word, in Yod Hey Vav Hey's name be gone. And it did not leave. And that made me scared. That made me really scared. And I hadn't really thought about Jesus in a long time. And in that moment, I got this notion to use Jesus's name, And so as a last ditch effort, I used in Jesus Christ's name be gone. And it disappeared. And then after that, every night they came by, and that started encounters every night with them.